What's up, everybody? It is Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode, was it 142? Gonna just continue some of the Navy diver uh, sort of things. I tried researching a few things just now to see if I could find better references, and I couldn't, man. This military tactical gear stuff is actually pretty complex. Um, so yeah, I mean, for the purposes that I needed, I just want to see how it functions without actually having to read a book or anything like that. So that way I could actually, you know, draw while learning. So I'm just gonna continue to draw some stuff, and yeah. Uh, Man, so this camera angle, how can I make this better? It's so far away. Maybe this will work. Just drawing here, so I can work on like these four squares. Who knows? Maybe I'll finish up the rest of the page tonight. We'll see. Either way, I got new Rockstar stuff. I think I just added a bunch of their videos onto the playlist, so it's just gonna be them talking about a whole bunch of Marvel stuff. And so yeah, I'm gonna let that play in the background. The problem that I'm running into with all these Navy study sketches, as cool as they are, um, as much as I like them, they're all very similar. And that's the thing that's what I mean by I was like trying to find something else. One, I was hoping to find like different gear or something, or something that a little clearer. Maybe they have like different colors, but no, everything is like black. The only time it's not black is when it's like green or fatigues and things like that, which only complicates what you're looking at a little bit more, hence the purpose of fatigues. So it's just yeah, this stuff is hard, but I kind of, on the story that I'm working on, I have a military section, and I have some pretty important characters that are in the military. So it's kind of important to me to at least be able to capture this this military gear. And just trying to get the layout right is a lot, man. I wish somebody would like take all this gear and then just like paint it white. You know what I'm saying? So that way you can see like everything getting captured. Because everything's always black for these divers. So it's just like, oh man. It's like all I can make out are silhouettes, and it's like I could see a little bit of the tactical gear, but it's hard to like make sense of all of it. Yeah, so trying to figure out the straps, how everything is connected. I mean, these divers, they seem to have like your pretty standard where's do I have my eraser here? Where's my eraser? Alright, whatever. Let me just grab one. Okay. So yeah, the thing that I keep thinking about, or something that I've been thinking about for years, was like how anytime anybody ever invents anything, the only thing that will bring value to it is like, hey, how can we use this as a military thing? I mean, just think about even like medication. It's like, oh, hey, we just like isolated this compound. We could do this, that, and the other with it. And then it's like, hey, how can we use it as a weapon? How can we use this against our enemies, sort of thing. So you could just take anything like, oh, hey, I got this. I found this strong fabric. Oh, okay. How strong is it? Can you carry? Can it carry? How many pounds can it carry? You know, can we pack on more gear for people to for our soldiers to carry with it? And things like that. Like everything always gets pushed to a military application. So if I'm going to have like a military element within my story, it's like, okay, I want to at least be able to understand it some. So I've done the fighter pilots stuff recently, and I'm finding similarities. Um, Hell, I even just revisited my Metal Gear art books and things like that. See, and this is what I'm talking about, man. The reference that I'm looking at has like shit all up in here, and I just don't know if it's strapped, if it's hanging from a strap. Like I just don't know what any of this gear is. Like to me, it looks almost like tubes or pouches that are strapped to this strap here, but like there might be a strap connecting this that's swinging around the shoulder down to the belt below. Because then there's the belt down here, and then you know it's like I know how some of these systems work in clothing wise, but it's like I'm looking for something different. Like I don't want to just when I start designing things, I don't want everything to just match and look the same. for instance, I don't want like fighter pilot stuff to look exactly the same as the diver stuff. And right now, the only big difference I could see between the two is like the divers have the iron lung thing to, and the scuba gear to help them breathe. But, the fighter pilots also have like a H, or not a H2O, but a oxygen tank to help them with when they're piloting and things like that. So it's just like, but the tanks are different, and that's what I'm saying. Those are like the biggest changes I'm seeing. So it's just like, man, how? Oh, sorry, hit the camera. Yeah, so it's all very loose what I have here, but I feel like I could be doing better. See, like there's something very interesting here, but it's like I can't make sense of everything. Now, granted, this one's half above water, half behind water, but that's another thing that I'm not even seeing in any of these reference images that I could find, is like the backside of these divers to see what's on the back of the pack, if that makes sense. So, yeah, so it's all more or less the same, man. Breathers, tubes. But I can't see where all this stuff kind of goes. It all looks cool. I mean, you have a guy standing there with a automatic rifle. Like, yeah, it's gonna look great. I'm not drawing these things so I could draw something that looks cool. Uh, that comes later. I'm drawing these so I can like try to understand. You know, I mean, these references I'm looking at right now have some heavy duty gear. Almost looks like it's up to date because the tubes aren't bare anymore. They have like these like sleeves covering them and things like that. The mouth breathing apparatus is protruding a whole lot more. It's a little bulkier. So yeah, I just want to do all these studies. And oh well, getting back to what I was talking about with uh going back over my Metal Gear Solid art book, like there's a ton of like military uh quality uh concept design art in there from who's the artist? I'll be forgetting the artist's name. That's my bad. But either way, like they had this artist who kind of worked on everything for Metal Gear. And I mean, these art books are basically just a celebration of that dude's work. And that's the thing is like I really wish I could find a picture of these guys kind of out there, but without their gun. And the only pick, so that way I could actually see the vest and everything, because that's what's most important. You know what I mean? The gun is there for offensive and things like that, which is cool. But it's like I could study a gun on my own time, like later. Like I could do it. This is more of a uniform study that I'm trying to do. But either way. So I was looking at that stuff and I was just like, man, see, this is why I kind of want to do these studies to and just kind of learn by drawing. I don't want to look at like a book just yet because I wouldn't understand what I'm looking at. So it's like, drawing things like this will at least help me. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I might even do that for a little bit. I want to say it's Yoji Shinkawa is the artist. I believe that's the name. Yoji Shinkawa. If you get that or if you have the Metal Gear art book, the Metal Gear series art book. I mean, it is gold for anybody, like myself who's just into art and creating and drawing things because I mean that guy clearly has a handle on real life, kind of like what I'm trying to do here, and real life applications to the point where now he can kind of invent it and make it invent these um, invent these unique designs that don't exist, but make them look like they belong. Which, again, is what I'm trying to do. Um, I think it's a little it's a little naive of me to think that just drawing it for a couple of days or getting a couple pages of studies in, and all of a sudden I'd be in a place where I could at least like kind of create my own stuff. But that's kind of the goal. I don't need to be perfect or anything like that. That's certainly not what I'm going for. But it's like, you want the stuff to make some sort of sense. Because if I just draw off the top of my head every single thing, it's like I'm not going to be thinking, like, how should a tank look? My base ideas of what like breathing tanks and air tanks are like those like the tanks that you see scuba divers wear on their backs. Yeah, see, I like how giant all this gear is for this guy, and I like that these breathing apparatuses have like sleeves covering them, so that way you're not just looking at a bare bones um, strap or a bare bones tube. You know what I mean? Anytime I see like exposed tubes and things like that, I always think about like Batman fighting Bane, like the animated series, where it's like, oh yeah, he just goes for the tubes, he ends up cutting those, and then Bane's defeated. Like, and I always thought about like, shouldn't Bane like figure out how not to get those tubes cut? You know, like make them out of a material that can't be cut, or put like something over the tubes. So, like a really heavy fabric or a metal fabric even that's like, oh yeah, they can't, he's not gonna cut through that. There we go. And it's always like the layering of things. Like that's another thing that I find interesting about all this stuff is how like this guy's wearing gloves, and then below the gloves he has like probably a wetsuit, that's like skin tight, and then above the wetsuit he's wearing his frogman gear, the fatigues and all that other stuff. Like the layering is always super interesting to me as well. So it's just about understanding that too, because some of these references that I have, that they're just dudes literally were just walking around with the wet gear, even if they're not necessarily in the water. Just out of the anticipation of having to go into the water at some point, surely. But But it's like, man, I wish I could just get a picture of one of these soldiers without the gun, just not holding the gun. Maybe it's like strapped to their side or strapped to their back. However, it gets strapped so that way they're not holding it. I mean, unless they're that's a part of the training is like, oh no, you never let go of your gun. Like I'm sure we've seen those, which is fine and fair. But it's like, well, you know, how is an artist ever gonna see artists like myself is ever gonna see how this stuff works. And see, little things that I'm talking about is like I know that like there's always this tank below this little chest piece here. There's always like a actual air tank below it, and every sketch that I've done so far. So it's like okay, that's a pretty consistent thing. Um, but I don't see like I know that there's always these two straps onto the tank also, so it holds the tank in place. But it's like I don't know what those straps strap to. That's kind of what I'm talking about when I'm like, hey, I'm kind of in the dark here. I don't see what's going on. Like that's what I mean. Is like, what are the specifics? Like what's tying into what? Sometimes the most, it'll be the smallest detail, and it'll kind of inform you on just what's happening in any one scenario. But yeah, one thing I have noticed, and I'm seeing it more and more consistently now, is like they strap their fins whenever they're climbing out of the water. When they're in the water, they're wearing the fins and swimming and all that shit. But once they're done, they actually have like these straps on their arms, whether it's their left arm or right arm, uh, where the fins are strapped to those. So it's like they climb out of the water, they probably take the fins off and then click, click, slap them on to these like armbands that they have here, and then now they have the fins dangling from their arm, and you know, I imagine it could be a little bit cumbersome, but I mean, it is what it is. But seeing that they do that now, it's like, oh, okay, I got it, and I could take that concept and run with it. So it's like, okay, so anything that needs to come off still needs to stay on their body. So it needs to get off and be less cumbersome. Like you can't really walk forward in fins. I don't know if you've ever tried to go scuba diving, but if you ever walk, you have to walk backwards. So in order to have fins but avoid walking backwards, it's like okay, and also not drop them or leave them around somewhere because you don't want people to have a trace that you're around. It's like you gotta kind of you gotta keep everything on you, so you gotta strap it in. So even if you're taking it off, strapping it in, and hey, it is what it is. Where are we at? We're a half hour in. All right, give me a second here. But that's just it. There's a few things that I've made, not even a few, but a couple things that I learned about like the setups of these divers, and they're all starting to become like consistent. But still, it's not completely like I don't understand everything completely. I still don't know how everything is strapped on or strapped in onto the body. Like I said, I can imagine a vest for sure, but I haven't even seen one backside of these characters or of these outfits. And it's like, damn, what's going on in the back? You got some junk in the trunk. Oh yeah, give me a second here. Book, don't stop sliding. Now everything's sliding. Right. check this out. See, now this guy's carrying something with him. I could almost see what's going on in these pictures. Wow. Okay. I could almost see what's going on in this one. Yeah, another thing with these navy vests, they're a lot thicker. And that's the other thing. I could see so little, I can't even tell if these guys are wearing collars or not. Like, I could almost see this guy's collar, but I don't know if it's like a flip collar like how the Navy guys or the Air Force guys had. And when I was looking at the Metal Gear stuff, I saw some things. I was looking to try to get some ideas. You know what I mean? Like, cause I keep drawing these things, and they're all like based off of like real life of ours, and my story's not based on our reality necessarily. Um, so it opens up the door for me to be a little creative about things. So to look at looking at somebody else's work who's already done it is just nuts. So I'm seeing like the straps here are a lot wider. They basically cover the entire uh, trap, and maybe because it's bigger, it helps with the helps hold like this giant tank here, whatever this giant tank is. Hey, what's up, Cheska? Hey, thanks. Yeah, Nardachi's the greatest, man. She supported me so much here on Twitch, man. Yeah, she's like MVP for me, man. So yeah, any friend of hers, like, welcome. Yeah, I'm just doing some studies, trying to learn from drawing. So yeah, so lurk away. Um, I'm just gonna be trying to understand, some of this military stuff because it's all so complex and complicated. And then it's all, fatigues and it's camouflage, so it's even hard to break up the pieces and understand what's going on. But until I find what I'm looking for, I'm just gonna keep on drawing, and then I don't know, maybe something will click or get affiliate. I'll be getting her for commissions. Oh, that sounds dope. Oh man, you're talking about MGS3. I was talking about Metal Gear earlier. Want to design a parody, design power suit, old timey radio for a helmet design. See, now that sounds interesting. I'm actually interested in that what that looks like. Because I'm just picturing like an old timey radio on top of someone's head, like you just have like the radio here with like the buttons or whatever, and then click here, antenna there, power button, whatever, and then you just add like a body to it. Like I just immediately imagine something like that, but yeah, I'm sure you have something like way cooler. Speaker could look like an ornate mouthpiece. Hell yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome, man. That's another thing I was thinking about earlier was like trying to, as soon as I'm done with these studies and I move on to design and I actually get to the creative portion of it, I was like, all right, I'm gonna need to give myself some sort of assignment of like, you know, make it military but fashion it after a fish. Make it military but fashion it after a jellyfish. Make it military, fashion it after a manta ray, something like that. Um, So that's why I'm doing all of this is like, okay, let me try to at least get a good idea of what military means. And then once I have that, it's like, okay, I could just like look at a picture of a fish and then be like, okay, let me play with this design a bit. So yeah, it sounds like you get it. Yeah, the underwater army. It's actually almost exactly what it is. I just never put those words together. Underwater army. It'll be something to think about. One thing that I was hoping for, like when I'm doing all these studies, you'll notice like all of these guys are carrying guns. Is like if I can get a picture of a guy who's not holding his gun in front of him, like this one was super helpful, and this one was pretty cool, but this guy doesn't have all the gear. His is a little more restricted, and it was like, okay, I need somebody with like all this gear, but without the gun in front of him, like him, so I can kind of see everything that's going on here. But it's like everything that I'm finding, like they're all holding guns, and it like looks cool, but the guns are, it's not really a gun study. Not yet, at least. So it's cool that I'm getting like all this gun work in, but yeah, that Radiohead idea, walkie-talkie head idea sounds really cool, man. It'd be interesting to see what that looks like. I mean, there are similarities, I guess. Like if you're looking at a helmet, and then like even those old timey helmets that were like circular in shape, and then you had like the big frame around it, and then the frame itself had like little grid in it and things like that. It probably had like something going on here for a tank and all that stuff. Like you could see just even in these simple designs, like there's a overlay of design elements like the crossing of the speaker and the crossing of the framing. Yeah, there's a bunch there that you can do. I like it, man. I loved it when I was working on the fighter pilot stuff. Their helmets were so sophisticated, had realistic proportions and uniforms. You can get secondhand reference for realistic stuff. Well, I have the. I was looking over this yesterday. I have the Metal Gear art books, and I was like going through them yesterday, but I didn't want to just like look at those and draw them. But that might actually end up be what I start doing next, like on the next page, after I fill up this page with a bunch of like Navy stuff. I'll probably like jump onto this next page here, and I might just start straight up drawing like Metal Gear things, and just call it my Metal Gear study. Um, but yeah, check this out. Like I still have the book out from when I was looking at it. Class, the teacher would start us off with the comic characters, but he wanted us to do American comics instead of Japanese for proportions. That kind of makes sense. Sounds shallow when I say it, but he's mostly right. Yeah. Let's see. So I have the camera's so close, so you can't really see it. But I bought the double art books for Metal Gears 1 through 4 plus Peace Walker, and it comes with Studio Works as well as Gallery Works. And the Studio Works are kind of like all the sketches. So so well, this page is a little too zoomed in, but like all the rough sketches of all these characters, like this is all from MGS3. You might notice them from like Ocelot stuff. So yeah, I go through this book all the time and study it, but I kind of use it for visual reference, and then I kind of walk away, just because I don't want to be like a Yoji Shinkawa duplicate. But yeah, these guys are all from Metal Gear 3. You have a guy with a gas mask there, some spacesuit guys. I mean, proportions are all, you know, they're whatever. I guess if it's for life drawing, you absolutely want to have proper proportions. But like, here's Revolver Ocelot from MGS3. I'd say that at least these sketch proportions are pretty pretty close to accurate. I mean, looking at from the size of the head to the shoulder size to the waist size, like everything is pretty good from to like life drawing accuracy. Oh yeah. Um, what's his name? Berserk, the Berserk artist. Yeah, that's a bummer. That is a bummer, man. And see, this is what I'm trying to get to is after I do these studies and then I'll draw out a character and then I'll have something loose like this, and I'd love to like break it down into like these sort of things. So any piece that has like anything particularly. Oh, you're upset for him and the story? Because he didn't finish the story, right? I think I like checked in on the manga from time to time. Dang. Yeah, that's a rough one, man. I mean, he's worked on that for I don't know how many years, man, but I know Berserk goes like way back. Um, hell, the series ended up on a high note. Since 1989, holy shit. The series is almost as old as me. Let me see if I can find what I was looking for. We were talking about Snake, right? Snake's proportions. There he is. Yeah, it's super sad. But, it's always there's been so much death lately in the last couple of years. There's been so much death lately in the last couple of years. It's almost like I don't want to say I'm numb to it, but I've just started to there became a point where I just started thinking like, man, at the very least we could just celebrate. Like I started jumping to celebrating people's lives a lot quicker than before. Like I almost skipped the grieving part. But I don't want to say I skipped the grieving part because that's not true, but it's like right. So it's like I kind of just like immediately when I heard about that, like I saw it and I was just like another one. You know what I mean? Just another one. And I immediately was just like, well, thank God we have his work, you know? I saw a bunch of his like people posting all the artwork and things like that, and I was just like, celebrate it. I often go back to that movie of Biggie Smalls, and the Biggie Smalls movie. I always think about the mom's uh, monologue at the end of the movie, and she was saying when they were driving his casket through the neighborhood that he grew up in and things like that, um, that people were playing his music, a lot like DMX recently, and she has a line in there where she goes, um, and then she heard her son's voice, and she was talking about when she like left and went outside, and people were playing his music on boomboxes or whatever on loudspeakers and things like that, and immediately it was just like, okay, when that that's one thing about being an artist, visual, audio is like you can at the very least have left something behind for people to celebrate you and remember you, and you can um it goes back to that saying when they say people die two times. It's when you really die, and then when people forget your name. And as an artist, if you're creating things and you're putting yourself out there, high or low, uh, you leave something behind. And as long as people remember your work and remember you for your work, they'll remember your name, and you can kind of, these people live on a little bit longer. And that's become the thing that I immediately jump to with all this death and sadness and everything. Try to I try to avoid being sad now because it's like I'd rather celebrate them. Anytime I think about them, I'll just pull up pictures. I'll read a page. I'll read a whole manga or something, and just be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Like that guy did that, but it is sad. Sad that he didn't finish it. Such a long series. I'm even wondering if he ever did he have any plans to finish it? Like, are you like a big fan of Berserk? Like, were you like super into it? Because I never was. Like, I like it, but I never really picked it up. It's just too much stuff on my plate. More about getting pissed at people who ruined the country. Oh man, I know they had that in Egypt and the Dead of the Dead traditions. I haven't read since the Sea God arc. Then waited for it to go forward. Hmm. Okay. But yeah, I know that some of his stuff was like I'll follow YouTube channels that break down like his artwork or explain the manga and things like that. And I love that those sort of things because especially when they take a pause or a break to like really talk about like his artwork and what it's like, oh man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful work. Yeah, Dark Souls for sure. Who was I watching? Who was I just watching today? I think it was like Maximilian dude, and he was talking about he was just talking about it as well of like um yeah, it's he inspired Dark Souls for sure. He goes, but basically Bloodborne is Berserk. He was like Bloodborne is Berserk. And it was like, yeah, you know, it's that gothic horror and it's probably all the intricacies and the details. That whole Victorian era type stuff where even like what you were saying with like little ornate designs around like the helmet that you were talking about. You were saying like do like little ornate things like you can probably draw like little leaflet patterns or something like that, uh, popping off the frame or something. It was like those little details that they always got in there. All that stuff is yeah, I love all that shit. Like I said he was partially inspired by Disney, and when you finish laughing, I was like, oh, I see the art inspiration. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, Something that a lot of people don't know, because if you gotta imagine if he was started that series back in '89, that means he was growing up in like the '70s and '80s, which means I mean I don't know nothing about the guy. Like I never looked into his autobiography or anything, or his biography, but he was probably born in the '60s or something. You got to imagine like Disney wasn't that popular back then, and you look at all their old stuff like the what was it, the Black Cauldron and things like that. Um, Kind of like the before Snow White and things like that, or maybe around Snow White days. But yeah, Disney wasn't as popular, but they were putting out like really dark stuff. So yeah, if I could imagine, I could see him as a young kid, like like watching those things and being like, oh wow, you know. Yeah, Cinderella. That's the one. That's the one I was trying to think of. The the antagonist in Cinderella. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. the world is what the world is. Because yeah, Disney's done some funky things, but then again, a lot of people have done a lot of funky things. Um, Especially the artists and things like that. It gets a little cold thinking about like, oh yeah, art. The art that we do professionally, at least, is it's all for business. And yeah, some of those nightmare stories are, yeah, they still go on to today. Yep. Yeah, Pinocchio for sure. It's funny. I have the all the old school. I have a ton of art books. I've been thinking about talking about them or like bringing them up from time to time, but I want to wait till I have like that dual camera system when I can afford that. Like get which I should be able to start doing maybe like next year or something. Is like get a camera so that way I can kind of film myself with a book and because I have a shit ton of art books. Like how I have this Metal Gear stuff. I have the Disney. I have 4 Disney books that all go back to everything that they did that was 2D animation from the very beginning, the black and white Mickey Mouse stuff, all the way to what was it? Not Princess and the Frog, but um, Lilo and Stitch, I believe. And yeah, man, that's when I look at all their old stuff and you see all the old work that they did, the oil paintings, the acrylics, the pastel work that they did on all those movies like Cinderella and Pinocchio and dude, it's beautiful stuff though. And yeah, definitely dark. Everything was like castles and forests and things like that. So it kind of makes sense, with the whole Victorian age of like tall towers and pointy roofs and things like that. Vivzy Pop, but she's an exception. What's Vivzy Pop? I never heard of that or her. I mean, is she an artist or something? Vivzy Pop. She does Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel. It's entirely fan funded, but she pays it all back with quality. And has picked up by was picked up by A24. That sounds familiar. The first animated series they've done. Huh. That's interesting. Actually, let me write that down. So, Fizzy Pop. Hell of a Boss. And Has Been Hotel. I haven't heard about any of this. I'm pretty I'm pretty in the dark and stuck in my own head and stuck in my own ways of things. But yeah, I'm always down to like learn about new things and then see what they do. Especially since I'm trying to create something, I'm definitely interested in other creators and what they do. And now there has to be other funds. I know merchandise pays for a ton of stuff. Yeah, she sells out of stuff within hours. Nice. Should I link a song that garnered attention for Has Been Hotel? It's how I got into it. Um, I mean, I'm not gonna check out the link here, just because I'm streaming off of my a tablet. But is it on YouTube? I imagine everything's probably on YouTube, right? Because I got YouTube playing in the background. I could probably look this up. Has Been Hotel. Oh yeah, look at that. I type in Has Been, it pops up. Episode 1, episode 2, comic dubs. The hotel song. The hotel song. Let me see. Addict music video. Okay, so 89 million views. VizzyPop. Oh, she has a channel. Sweet. I mean, the style already looks cool. I'll just straight up subscribe. Inside of every demon is a rainbow. Has Been is only the pilot on YouTube. Okay, inside of every demon is a rainbow. 2 years ago. Holy shit. I hope I don't get in trouble for playing this, because I'll just play it right now. I'll turn the volume up. Fuck it. Hopefully this doesn't get me a strike.
Humane way to hinder overpopulation here in hell? Perhaps we can create an alternative way to change souls through redemption? Well, I think yes. So that's what this project aims to achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm opening the first of its kind, a hotel that rehabilitates sinners. You know, because hotels are for people passing through temporarily.
This looks awesome. Aha!
Look, every single one of you has something good deep down inside. I know
Stupid
you
bitch.
do. Maybe I'm not getting through to you.
Oh no.
Wow.
I have a dream. I'm here to tell about a wonderful, fantastic new hotel. Yes, it's one of a kind. Right here in hell, catering to a specific clientele. Inside of every demon is a rainbow. Inside every sinner is a shiny smile. Inside of every crazy hatchet of the great is a jolly, happy, loving child. We can turn the world, they'll be happy now. Just a little time down at the happy hotel.
Wow. Wow. Wow, this animation is really good, man. It's reminding me of like Studio Trigger or like Animaniacs, you know? That was shit. Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah, I'm subscribed, man. So I'll be popping in on her channel from time to time. Try to keep up with that stuff. But yeah, that animation looked fucking great. That's wild. So that's super dope. She's like a I'm guessing she's like an animator, and she got like, I don't know, funded somehow through Kickstarter, Patreon or something, and has been able to do that stuff. I imagine she must have been at that for years, right? To like build up that audience and everything. First season, how it's almost done when you get the chance to marathon. Where does it play? Because you said YouTube only has the like pilot episode. I think it has like episodes 1 and 2. I think I saw it. Oh, okay. But yeah, I'll for sure watch, man. I'll just have to find a moment. You know, I barely ever have time. I'm always like researching stuff and looking stuff up and trying to prep for the next stream of like, all right, how am I gonna set this up and get myself so at least I can like stream drawing without looking ridiculous. But I definitely like that look and style and it and the animation. I saw some references in there. There's like where she's spinning, looking towards the camera at the end is almost reminiscent of like the Little Mermaid and things like that. But yeah, it also reminds me a lot of like Studio Trigger, like Kill la Kill, the Mako character. How she is always animated and popping and things like that. I love Studio Trigger's work. Kill la Kill is another series of art books that I have. I think I have like 6 of them, but they have so many. Well, Maxwell Adams himself has supported her, at least verbally and with cameos. It's also by Busy Pop on the same channel right now. The 1 through 5 should be sketching armadillos and porcupines right now, but I'm always procrastinating. Wait, yeah, man, you should you should draw those things. I are you allowed to use like references? I'm guessing it's for like assignment or something. Do you have to just draw from the top of your head, or you have to like use? Is it okay to like Google things or something? Cause yeah, man, you can. You know, it's like Nardachi's always telling me she's like, oh yeah, I'm just lurking. Sometimes she's drawing along and things like that. But yeah, no, I could even draw some with you. I mean, none of this stuff that I'm doing is like super important. So let me see. Would you say armadillos and porcupines? Well, I've drawn plenty of armadillos. They're super interesting. I actually turned I put an armadillo in one of the logo designs that I did, and I really loved breaking down an armadillo to like simple versions. But I don't have that. Oh, do I have that artwork? It's not on my phone. I wouldn't be able to show you. It's on my laptop. But yeah, armadillos are super fun, especially to get all the parts. So porcupine. I don't know if I've ever drawn a porcupine. I've drawn like Sonic the Hedgehog, but never. Oh yeah, porcupines are pretty dope. Yeah, see, porcupines are pretty dope, man. Porcadillo. Using Google Image to draw them so I can make Princess Porcadillo. But shit, you gotta turn one into a princess. See, for instance, like I just pulled up an image. I've never drawn a porcupine, but it's actually kind of interesting once you like life always has a pattern, you know, anatomy always has like a pattern and things like that. And it's amazing how certain animals, or not even certain animals, but all animals, they almost follow a certain rule. Now with these spines, it makes it hard to identify the ears. So yeah, these things are interesting because they have the spines are like really long hair, but they're so solid and rigid. It's almost a nightmare to have to like try to really capture all that. But yeah, probably just draw the shape first. But yeah, all the underbelly fur is going to be a lot shorter, a lot easier to capture. But then, yeah, everything on the inside or on the outside, like you could draw the limb like normal, but then the fur, like which would normally kind of be short, kind of just pushes out. So it makes these things like a lot puffier. But yeah, it's super interesting. So yeah, and you have this, and then kind of cuts back, and yeah, all this gets filled in. All gets filled in. Nice. But yeah, it's funny that these spines, something that I think about all the time is like hair and feathers and things like that of like is are feathers like the spine on a feather just a really thick hair, and then the feathers themselves that are like little hairs growing off this really thick stem of a hair, almost like a tree trunk and the branches sort of situation. Because if you look at this porcupine stuff, man, I mean, these spines are basically just hair, but I know that they're like used as like defense mechanisms, so they can like stab people or stab predators and get motherfuckers to back up and shit. Back up. And then yeah, and then it all just kind of radiates out again, so it can kind of protect itself from every angle. So yeah, it kind of radiates like the sun. It's beautiful, actually. Hmm. There we go. And then another one that kind of comes out. And then gets smaller. Yeah, this is super interesting. But really, all this long hair just follows the anatomy like regular hair would. It's just long. I mean, fortunately, it's because they're spines. It's not it doesn't like get matted up or anything like that, or wavy or anything like that. It all stays relatively straight, like a Dragon Ball Z character or something. Just kind of spikes out. So then there's that, and then another radiation comes out at this point, and that's the one that kind of, once you get to the back, comes out that way. And then, yeah, man, this is fun. This is my first porcupine, so I kind of want to do it at least a little bit of justice. I think the last time I drew anything similar to this was like a Sonic the Hedgehog picture, ooh, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, when I was on like DeviantArt and stuff. Okay. And then I drew like, I don't know if it's on there or not, but I drew like a Sonic that was kind of realistic, kind of not. All right, and then the hind leg is back here somewhere, hidden amongst all these spines. And then, yeah, the tail is kind of aligned with the head. Everything back here, all the shadow and stuff. Okay. Yeah, this would be a nightmare to draw if I was like actually trying to make it like a life drawing assignment quality. But really, I'm just pulling a lot from like all the times that I've drawn cats and dogs and wolves and tigers and things like that. You know, you can kind of. There we go. Just realized that the armadillo could have a faceplate headphone combo. Hell yeah, except for the front, at least in Donkey Kong Country 2. Oh, so you're turning these. So the assignment is to turn these animals into characters. Is it characters for like animation? So they have to be kind of like simplified in design and things like that? Donkey Kong Country 2. Trying to think of the armadillos in that game. Man, that's a throwback. That's a throwback reference, man. I know I played it. Cause Donkey Kong Country 2, that was the one with the other characters, right? The girl and the baby character. The baby Kong, who was like bigger. He was like the biggest one, even though he was like a baby. And then you had the girl with the pigtails. That was Donkey Kong Country 2, right? Because I played both of those games on the SNES tons back in the day. Okay, so yeah, to get these ears, kind of like that almost, and then some more spines. The ears are always tough, man. Like that's something I still haven't like really gotten down to a science. Are ears, or animal ears, I should say. You know, I'm always trying to find like the easy way to kind of just like slap something together so that way I can just put it in there, imply it, imply that it's there, and then move on. You know, maybe render it out later, but okay, so there's shade there. Now there's more shade here. Yo, these things are dope though. I kind of actually like this design because they're like basically big fur balls with tiny feet. Baby was in 3. Ah, okay. Can I post a link? Yeah, yeah, you can post links. I don't think I have any problem with links. And thank you. Yeah, why not? Why not join you for a minute? Take a break from drawing these super military men. Now I'm gonna have a page every time I revisit it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's that one time I talked to Cheska. Talk to Cheska about porcupines and armadillos and shit. And it's right next to the picture where it's like, oh yeah, I learned about Vipsy Pop that day. I'll probably like be like a stan of hers in the coming months. There we go. And then this one is going to be a little more defined. Yeah, this guy's serious. I have a ban on links personally, but only because of spam bots. Yeah, I get spam bots all the time. Super annoying, especially since I don't, because I stream from a tablet. I I used to have a cell phone that I would keep so that way I have my stream manager open on there. And then my actual cell phone that I use now, I use like for references and things like that as I'm drawing and working and things like that. But the one phone went down, so now it's like I have a hard time managing because I don't have my stream manager open anymore. So yeah, I I get spammed by bots sometimes. It's terrible. Yeah, thanks, man. Part of it is I guess if we're looking at it from negative to positive space, like I'll use like the positive lines to kind of get this rough outline, all these lighter lines that you see to get the shape, but then I'll use the negative or in quotes, the negative space to actually shade in. So when I was making the lighter lines, I was shooting them outwards almost like the rays of the sun. But then when I was making these shade lines, I was bringing them in, you know, instead of shooting them outwards, I was shooting them inwards. So the shading is actually shooting towards the face while the, the lines that aren't shading are shooting away from the face. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like the positive negative thing that was going on there. I think the only real shading that I pushed away from was like the stuff here. But I think that that's just because the shading was probably different over there or something. But either way, yeah, thanks, man. I like to. But yeah, like even just drawing things like this like really gives me ideas. Cause like now I'm just thinking about like simplified characters with like big fat bodies and short stubby legs. you know? And I was just like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun to animate. Like even if you made them like bipedal, and it's like, all right, how would that look if it were a biped? Probably like up like this somehow. you know, it's all these crazy spines, and then like the tail back there. But yeah, like stuff like this always gets my mind thinking about like when I created things like kind of like these characters here. Like they're kind of chibi in their anatomy, you know? They kind of have like chibi features as far as like having the big head and the small bodies, but you know, as far as like these characters go in their design, they're actually like really giant. They just have giant heads also. But yeah, every now and then you know, we'll try to throw something in that's not like anatomically going to work, but you know, try to make it look cool at the very least. So, like dress them up and give them lives to live and things like that. Yeah, thanks, man. This is like past concept art. Like these are the things that I'm working on for my story. Um, so it's like concept art for characters. It's not necessarily character art. Once I like actually start writing the stories, I'll probably start, you know, actually doing character art per story. But yeah, this is all just the concept design, like you know, so that way when I go to write the story, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, okay, they're gonna be living in places like this, and these things are those, and gives me all the ideas that I need. But yeah, but yeah, man, drawing little cute things like that is all of a sudden to me, it's like, how do I turn that into a character? Very much like what you're doing right now. So yeah, man, it sounds like a ton of fun. You know, have fun with it. This is for a school assignment, the porcupine hedgehog stuff. You probably already answered that question for me. Or is it just a personal project? But yeah, that might be it for this guy. I don't wanna I don't wanna spend time on each individual spine. Oh, personal project, sweet. Redesigning old designs from a project I got traumatized out of a decade ago. Oh my god. I know that feeling. I was about to say if this was a school assignment, I actually did I turned a beetle into a character a long time ago back in college. So, you know, a little over a decade ago. Um, I had this beetle character, uh, and then when I started working on the thing that I'm working on now, I was like, all right, I'm gonna fit him in somewhere, and then I kind of threw aspects of him across the board on like a few different characters, and yeah, man, it felt good. It felt really good. Like, oh, okay, that work I did 10 years ago wasn't for nothing. It fed my new characters that I'm working on now, and even one of them has the same name, but it's like, okay, cool. Like I got this character in there, and I got all the ideas of that character from 10 years ago in my story now. You used to do a webcomic. What? Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you. Did you do Man, how were you doing it? Were you kind of just flying by the seat of your pants, just kind of kind of like just drawing as you go along, figuring out the story as you go along, or did you like actually write out an entire story and script it out and then started working on it beforehand? Cause yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, and it's a hell of a lot of work, man. You ain't kidding. mulching and recycling characters. Coral. I had a general outline, then I kept putting in stuff. Been lurking for a while, but hey, what's up, Nardachi? And now he's canon. Right back to the lurk. Armadillo's helping with the work. That's what's up. Yeah, this porcupine's not bad. I think I'm done with him. Time to get back to these super military dudes. Oh man, do I still have this thing on? Navy SEALs diver's uniform. Maybe that's what I need to be looking at. Holy shit. Holy shit. There we go. See, look. It came to me. Took a little break. Did a little porcupine, then got back to the action and immediately found what I've been looking for, which is a guy without a gun so I could see the whole chest area. It's at a 3/4 angle. I wonder if I click the link if I'll be able to find like all sorts of angles of this model. There we go. Let's chop this in half. Yeah. Yeah, the Marines have been doing a lot of stuff like, with Afghanistan and all that stuff. So when I tried like looking them up, I just kept getting like the land-based Marines. And I was like, I don't know if this is what I'm looking for. Because they all look pretty much like rangers and soldiers and things like that. But yeah. Me. Yeah, it's really weird. I'm like trying to find Navy SEAL stuff, but without the guns. And it's like, oh, good luck. And this is actually kind of dope because this model here, I think it might even just be a mannequin with a uniform on it, is wearing like night vision. So it has like all this dope shit. Okay, so it goes out like that. Oh, I drew him way too big. That's alright, I just need his chest, I guess, so. Holy shit, this is crazy. So there is a strap that goes across there. See, that's the thing that I've been missing. I've been trying to figure out, like, how does all this make sense? How does it hold up at the top? And they have a strap that runs across the top. I just never could see it because the guns are always blocking right where that strap is. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, man. It was nice talking. It was really nice talking, Cheska. We talked about a lot of things. Everything from berserk and animals and all that shit. So yeah. And thanks for introducing me to this VisiPop. I'll be checking that stuff out. So yeah, I'll just get back to it, man. And you do the same. Okay. So there's that, and there's that. And then this comes down. And he has a little thing there. Little thing there. Strap. Heavy duty strap. Clicks at the shoulder. See, this is all the shit that I couldn't see. Now he has the pouches. The pouches that are one attached to this strap. So he has a double vest on. See, that's what I've been trying to figure out is if they had two vests on, because that's what would make sense with all the pouches and shit. It's like you need one vest for all the gear itself. But I was like, how is that supporting all these pouches hanging off the side? And it wasn't. There was an under vest that's not as heavy duty that everything was attaching to. That's what's up. Okay, so there's that and that. It's got a tube here. Regular tube there. This. And now I can finally see what this machine looks like. That's on their chest. Oh my god, this is perfect. Okay, so this one strap here, two connects here. Alright. So this thing kind of comes together here like that. There we go. Double nozzle. And then this shoots underneath. Yeah, this connects. See, that's something that I've been seeing, is that all these little wiry tubes, they run, they get fed through like the giant vest itself. So that way they kind of stay patted down so Batman can't cut them like he'd be cutting Bane's stuff. And see, there's another tube that pops out of here. Now, I don't really need to or want to know what all these tubes do. Like, it'd be nice, but I don't want to invest all that time into something like that. There we go. So now this is just the vest kind of popping in. And so now I know how I want armadillo limbs and head for the character. I just need to make Spiky make a ponytail. Are you combining an armadillo and a porcupine together? Have I been missing that this entire time? Either way, that sounds super dope. It sounds like a Super Saiyan 3 Goku sort of situation. Like a supersonic Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Sonic sort of situation. I think I've probably been misunderstanding this whole time. I didn't know you were combining the two animals. That sounds super cool. Porkadillo. Oh my god, I missed it. I'm such an idiot. Porcupine spines and anthropomorphic armadillo. I like it. I like it, man. I mean, just the anthropomorphic armadillo alone is super interesting. I remember, like I was saying about that logo, because I had to take like an armadillo and then break it down, and like the fact that the armadillo is like, it's like a head, and then it has like the front armor piece, and then these short little stubby legs, and then it has like the middle piece, which is like all these little riblet rings, and then it has like the back armor piece, and then still with these little short stubby legs. So even just taking this really bad concept piece with a little tail, um, and turning it into something anthropomorphic, man. I mean, at least you could do anything because it's like you have heavy armor up top and then the little riblet designed in the middle. It's almost like a giant skeletal sort of thing, and then the armor piece down at the bottom. And I don't know if the legs are going to be stubby legs and arms. And then, yeah, just looking off to the side there. But yeah, even just taking that concept and running with it is like super cool. It's like a Mega Man character. And then you were saying like get a porcupine, add porcupine to him. Like even if it was like spines just shooting off the back, like long spines shooting off the spine of the spine all the way to the tail. Like that could be one thing. And then maybe just like some more spines along the body. But yeah, you're gonna give him a ponytail, and then those spines will shoot out. I don't know. I could see like a lot of ideas with that. Create a whole species with it. Yeah, for sure. All right, so here's this pouch, and then this pouch, and then strap. Or, well, there to probably just hook up some shit. And then the sleeve. Oh shit, they strapped the goggles to the arm. That's super cool. Go. Dude, I'm gonna be super interested in finding out what that character looks like. Man, splicing animals together. Hmm. He is a murderer, and that is a scientific fact. Oh shit. So that shoots there. Then there's a bunch of shit going on down here. Holy shit. And then here's the clasp holding this belt together. See, that's another thing that I've been missing are these clasps. Very specifically. Wow. So the strap connects to this belt there. There we go. There they are. Okay. So he has a belt shooting across. Then he has these down here. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna want to see what this porcupine armadillo hybrid character looks like, man. Cause I mean, she was talking about she's talking about like Metal Gear stuff too. So it's like she's talking about anatomy and anatomical things, but also Metal Gear. So it's like I could be completely wrong. She may be drawing something like really anatomically like monstrous combination of those two animals. Sounds super dope. There we go. Yeah, like okay, so this one's actually lower. something hanging off of the belt back here. And then everything on here is kind of okay. There we go. Oh, they have him holding it. He's holding the mouthpiece. Oh, that's where that went. trying to see right now if there's more angles of this model. Because if there is, man. There we go. So erase all this stuff. Ah, okay. Oh, you know what? That's what I need to do. I'll just do that instead. There we go. Yeah, I need to drink some water or something. Oh, there goes that piece of lead. that what's happening? That is what's happening. Holy shit. All right. It's about that time that I. Well, actually, how long have I been streaming? Going on 3 hours almost, and it's about time for me to grab some, grab a snack. So yeah, man, I think this will probably be it for this stream. What the hell? What did I do for the past 2 hours 45 minutes? I drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drawings. So so 245 is 120 plus 45, so is 165 divided by 6. It's 27. All right. So yeah, these are like 25-minute sketches. Like how these were 20-minute sketches up here. And we'll just call them 30-minute sketches. What's today's date? The 24th? God damn. All right. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this stream. I might be back on in a little bit since I have some time to kill. Like I said, I want to be able to stream more and stream as often as I can. Try to get as much content. Plus, I'm just always trying to draw, man. Like that's the whole thing that I'm trying to do here. So yeah, but yeah, this was fun. Took a break from the marine stuff to draw porcupine. Super fun. So yeah. Sounds like Cheska has a bunch of some crazy ideas with like Radiohead characters that are diving and spliced porcupine armadillo characters. I'm interested to know what those things are gonna end up looking like. So yeah, wish her the best with all that. So shout out to Cheska, shout out to Nardachi for stopping by. Thank y'all for lurking. Love y'all for it. I'm G Mr. Drew at G Mr. Drew on all socials. You can follow, like, and subscribe. My website, gmrdrew.art. All of those links are in my bio, so you can check me out there. If you want to connect, let's do it. Any and all support is super appreciated. Either way, you've been watching the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. I'm G Mr. Drew, and I will be back. Thanks. Peace.